Welcome back. It has been a while. I think if my calculations are correct, Chris's cat is about 12 weeks old. So that's about as long as it's been. So I think Chris got the cat like right after we last recorded and haven't even put that recording out. And honestly, now that recording doesn't make sense. So we should just hold it off for next year. Yeah, sound good, team? So I am joined by my favorite co-host, Angela, our resident keep us in line checker, and H2O, my cousin. I almost said favorite cousin, but I probably could because I don't think the other ones listen to this. So favorite cousin.
Probably not.
Yeah. And we have a special guest with us today. My favorite PhD colleague, editor, keeps me in line, is shaking her head because right now she's thinking I should probably be writing my chapter 4 and not doing this. Oh, commentary from the peanut gallery is making noise. The sweet Dr. Margaret. Dr. Margaret is in the house.
Hey, y'all.
Dr. Margaret's hanging out with me for the weekend, so I thought, it'd be really fun. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of aliens and other weird things with her. And Margaret is probably not as in tune with the ufology. Is that right, Chris? How do you say that?
Yeah, that works.
As maybe we are, so I'm excited. But to get us started, we are going to talk about some Wacky World news. I'm sure you all have heard of this. I saw this on the Instagram the other day, and I was like, I think Snoop Dogg was talking about it on Instagram. That's maybe where I heard it. And I was like, come again? So apparently there is a zoo in China that is denying speculation that its bears are actually humans in disguise.
I have not heard this.
Okay, I did see this. Yes.
There was a bear standing up, and he was like,
but the part is he has no butt. There's no butt. Here, I'll send the links. You can see and we'll post the pictures on our Instagram.
You really have not seen it?
No. So they're saying that people are in like bear suits, bear costumes?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Nope, that is
like standing and waving at people. And then when he kind of leaned down, he looked like a regular bear. But when he was standing up on 2 feet. He was waving at people. It was like a whole thing.
Wow.
But for me,
this is like
a butt. Like there's no butt. It's flat, and then there's like ripples, like almost like when your pants aren't tailored correctly.
Well, see, what they should have done is use the tailor that the Bigfoot used in the Pat Gimlin Bigfoot photo or video, because that was well tailored. And they're still talking about whether it's actually a Bigfoot or somebody in a suit.
You got to go in the link I sent you. So it says, some people think the bear stands like a person. It seems you don't understand the bear very well, is what China says on its social media.
Well, I mean, yes, that is valid because sun bears don't look like any typical bear. However, these pictures, I see the frumpy ass, or lack thereof, I should say.
Yeah.
And it definitely looks like a costume.
Here, Chris, I shared the picture in the chat for you. And then I think it's the legs for me too. Like, it literally looks like our Uncle Steve with like a bear head on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you really not seen this? This is so
I know.
interesting.
No. How? Like, why? They are Chinese. The CCCP is a very, like, they have a lot of money. I mean, we're in debt with them for a lot of money. So why they can't afford to get bears? Like real bears?
They're saying it's a real bear. Other people are like,
no,
you can't pull the wool over my eyes. This is a person.
That's definitely a person.
And we record everything right now. Like, there is not one thing that we experience, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm doing like this one-on-one tour.
Yeah.
People are like, how dare you not put your business on social media? I'm like, because everything is on social media.
Everything, especially these bears.
That bear has been maybe at least once in the morning. I see it, and they're like doing something weird. And then it just kind of like leans back down.
And looks like a bear.
It looks like a bear.
So
That is
you have to see Snoop Dogg talks to Hoda and Jenna about this bear. So I'm gonna copy the link and share that with you, and I'll post it to our Instagram. But it's basically him talking on the Today Show about seeing this bear that looks like a human. But I guess because apparently it's a sun bear, and that's just like what sun bears look like. And I guess we're not used to it, but
They look like people in costume
at the cage, and it's like, hello.
Look, if Snoop Dogg is the expert right now, we are moving up.
Wait. Well, first off, he does some great voiceovers for like the Discovery Channel shows and does play-by-play. It's amazing.
He got play-by-play shows. He was doing cooking for a while. He is
the
not
Olympics,
a rapper anymore.
He is fantastic when he talks about the Olympics and like the dressage with the horses. Him and Kevin Hart, I will watch that all day.
That is the best thing ever about the Olympics.
It is. This is my last weird thing I saw. Also, apparently in like one of the Viking Scandinavian countries, they have like official competition with riding like pole horses. Remember those horses you used to have as a child where you like rode the pole and you would like jump?
Pole horses? Really? That's what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Just the pole with the horse's head on top?
Yes.
Look, what is hold on.
I'm Googling pole horse competition. I don't know what I'm going to get out of it.
It's hilarious.
You're not going to get what you think for the first one.
No,
it's called
don't click on the first one. It's in like Sweden or something like that, right?
Yes.
Or Switzerland, maybe.
Legit. Like they're trying to make it an Olympic sport.
Yeah, they like gallop and then they jump over stuff like the normal horses do. Like they do it all.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Like a child's toy.
Not serious.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got.
And not even like, I don't even think kids play with them anymore.
You know, I've just come to the conclusion that the pandemic has really took us to, that old Pixar movie called WALL-E?
Yeah.
And oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a good way to describe America right now.
That's what it feels like. It feels like we went through the pandemic, right? And then we got on some ship and then we came back and we were all big and plump. Because look, everybody was big and plump. They were bigger. And then we came back to Earth like it was
still.
And we're like trying to walk it out, get off our little plumpness. And then we're doing like crazy stuff. Because who would have thought that this is a great idea?
They have tails. These poles have tails.
Okay, I need the link now.
I just need to know if there's some people of color that are running around with.
Oh, good question. Good question. This seems like a white person.
What? Well, what country did you say it was?
It's Finland.
Sweden? Finland. Okay.
It's called
that kind of makes sense.
Event in the world takes place in Finland.
Finland is out here. And I'm just saying, there are people of color everywhere. And we get caught up in like foolishness all the time. But that just seems like
some white people foolishness.
Yeah.
Say it, because I agree.
I didn't say it. I just said it.
Amanda, you sent the same link.
Oh, did it not work? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Well,
do you know that this fun fact about Finland? They produce the most is it formula? It's not formula, but like rally car drivers. They produce the most highest winning ones. They're like all the top winners are from Finland.
Really?
I learned that from Top Gear.
I love Top Gear. I mean, that's like the only show that Robin and I can watch together is Top Gear, the one that's on Amazon now,
the Grand Tour.
Yeah, I like that.
Grand Tour, yeah. And then Jeremy's Farm's a good one too. Clarkson's Farm.
Oh my God, Clark. Did you watch James May Cooks?
No.
Oh, you got to watch that one too.
Is it good?
He's got 2 seasons out. Yeah.
I feel like your dad is the one that got me into Top Gear. Yeah. Because didn't he watch that forever? Him and Austin would watch that.
Yeah.
Him and I would watch it.
Yeah. I love that show. Anyways, I just sent you all the link. I'll post that also about the largest hobby horse event. These this girl is so excited that she just won this event. No, I think that camera guy might have been. It might have also been a really good tan. I'm not sure, but oh my God, here's babies doing it.
Look,
stop it.
I'm just saying.
The rabbit hole. I could go down on this.
This is the stuff that I keep thinking about. I think Wally, which is so funny. Wally, that movie, that is the thing that I think about after the pandemic. We are literally like relearning everything. Is that like we haven't talked to nobody? We don't know how to look them in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh my God, what is a plan? Like, I don't know what happened. It was only like a year and a half.
So hobby horse, it's called hobby horsing, is a sport or hobby with gymnastic elements that use hobby horses, also known as stick horses. The movement sequences similar to those in horse jumping or dressage, as partly stimulated in the course. It is not a mixed sex event. It is only female. Apparently men cannot do it. Why?
Because they have a stick between their legs on their own that they're riding around that they can't getting away with another stick.
And it is not an Olympic sport. Oh my God.
Wow.
Many hobby horsemen design their own hobby horses in the styles, such as snaffles, breastplates, halters, ropes, and ear flies. I have no idea what any of that means, but this is so entertaining. And I've decided that I'm going to ask our cousin, since she doesn't ride horses anymore, if she'd like to start with hobby horses.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Could you imagine? Wow. I wonder if they have a steroid problem in that sport.
I bet they don't.
Chris, you need to watch the video because these girls are like teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to jump over.
Side note,
it's hysterical. It's hysterical. The way their little legs were moving, Amanda, it was just like
it's and they have like little hats on, like they're actually it's pretty funny. And
oh my God,
honestly, I might actually would have watched it on TV. Also, though, I watch like the dog shows, so
because they're amazing.
They are amazing because they're so cute. Anyways, all right, what else is happening in this world besides hobby horses and human as bears?
A lot of stuff. There's a ton of stuff in the alien news world. So the biggest one was probably the David Grush. He's kind of the leader of this press conference that was held with some members of Congress regarding UFOs. This is like a huge event for like UFO alien people, or UAP as they're called by our government now. This took place, I'm sure everybody knows, this took place in late July. I don't remember the exact date.
Explain to me UAP, like what's the change again? I hear it and
So it's typical government fashion. As soon as a acronym catches on and it's being used to designate something in the public, they like to change it up. That way they differentiate themselves from what the public's calling something, even though it's like tomato type of thing. So UFO stands for unidentified flying object, whereas UAP stands for unidentified aerial phenomenon. So if you ask some people, the unidentified aerial phenomenon more talks about not just you're seeing a nuts and bolt metal ship in the sky, but you could be seeing like a glowing orb or something that looks less physical, more supernatural. So they kind of use it as a overlapping thing. Most of the shows and stuff, or even the press, they kind of bounce back and forth from the using either or term. But so this press conference took place in late July of this year, and this guy David Grush came out of nowhere. He's a former military intelligence officer turned whistleblower. He worked for the Pentagon. He served 14 years as an intelligence officer in the Air Force. He also was part of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, which I didn't even know was a thing, but apparently it is. So a lot of his testimony is secondhand. So he didn't witness it, see it. do it himself. He just came across it during his time working in the government.
So why do you think
Um,
he chose now to blow the whistle?
I think because he did his time, and I think he talks in it a little bit that he thinks the public should know the stuff that he's come across. He thinks the public should know. But he wasn't there by himself. He was also with this guy named Ryan Graves, and Ryan Graves is a former Navy pilot. And he talks about he flew. Ryan Graves did a lot of like special forces type flying missions, and he was. I'd venture to say he actually was involved in the recovery of downed spacecrafts and things, if anybody was. But they were also joined by David Fravor, who David Fravor hit the spotlight back in 2017 for the Tic Tac UFO sighting. He was the pilot that witnessed that Tic Tac shaped object that was in the news in 2017 up to now that was spotted off the coast of California in 2004. So he was the pilot that witnessed that. So the three of them are in a press conference, basically, have the desk higher than them with Congress sitting on them. They're asking them questions, and he kind of runs through most of it. They kind of ask questions like specifically like, well, who's doing this? Who's controlling, running this program to recover the UFOs, the UAPs, and he kept saying everything. It seemed like where it sounded like they were going to get into like the nitty gritty. It was like, well, we need to go into a skiff to discuss that. Well, we need to go into a skiff to discuss that. So it's kind of frustrating with that.
Is a skiff like a non-record conversation?
No, it's a room basically where they go to discuss top secret information is basically where it is. So, but he goes through it. I mean, he says that there's, the government's in possession of alien beings. So, we've recovered live beings. It's just like a lot of stuff came out of this, and I'm wondering where it goes now. I mean, if he actually went and sat down with them and gave them more information, like who's doing this, because he more or less said that there's a government agency that isn't really part of the government anymore because they're doing stuff without congressional oversight, performing these things, recovering alien crafts, rebuilding alien crafts to use them on their own, just like tons of stuff.
So like the Men in Black or something different than the Men in Black?
Something similar to it, because they did mention something that they work alongside, the beings, some of the races. They said there's up to 60 races of alien beings.
You said that they work alongside aliens?
Uh-huh.
Or whatever, extraterrestrials?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm really, and that was, I think, mid to late July that occurred.
It was July 26th.
Okay. So I was a couple of days for my birthday. So hopefully there'll be more.
Yeah, because didn't I tell you I got you the proof that aliens were real for your birthday? That was your birthday.
I mean, she did get you the best Christmas or the best birthday present, right?
Yes, you did. They also, I forgot to mention this too, is they also talked about they said they found non-human biologics. Biologics. Is that a word? I feel like I'm mispronouncing that. Biologics is how it's spelled, but I think it's biologics.
I don't know what that word means. Ask Siri.
I don't know. I feel like I'm mispronouncing it like crazy, but
biologics are large molecules produced in living cells.
I found. Oh yeah.
So by looking up what that word means, they could have pretty much just found some semen in a craft from an alien. I mean, technically, that'd be some non-human biologics, right? So knowing that, I feel like they're maybe pulling some wool over our eyes,
I mean, how much wool could they be pulling over our eyes? Then we found aliens. We can't tell you about it because you don't have top secret clearance.
Well, some people say that this is all in preparation for disclosures. They're playing the long game, the long slow game. I was talking to somebody recently and kind of laid it in like a different perspective that I've never heard anybody actually talk about personally. It kind of gets a little sensitive in some ways. So think about it this way. Think about how inclusive our society is attempting to become right now, right? Like it's being pushed everywhere, being everybody, everybody's included, nobody's excluded, which is great, right? Think about it in this way though, is that being pushed the way it is, could it be so that way when they tell us, hey, aliens are a real thing, here they are, they're living among us now, and they're your next door neighbor, this person, this person, this person. Being that we've been prepped to be this inclusive society, wouldn't it be easier to just act like, it's nothing and it's just another day because everybody's included, right?
Or do you be like, what? Doesn't matter. We're all different.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, that makes sense in a way.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's weird.
Adam said it makes
Yeah.
him think of the scrolls from Secret Invasion. Have you watched that yet?
Yeah. Yes. I've started to watch it since I have Disney Plus now. Yes. And I can see that very much. I don't know if it's exactly that. Because that's just, well, and they don't say they're the only race, but I definitely see it along the lines of that for sure. Is that it could be that they're able to morph or they're able to disguise themselves or something to get to it. Because I just think, what a better way to slide them in. Because like I said, and I've said before in other episodes, if they do it in the aspect of the War of the Worlds, where they did years ago, people are going to be going nuts, killing themselves and just freaking out, thinking aliens are taking over the world, right?
Or have a whole They Live moment where you get this special Ray-Bans and see who the aliens are or not.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to share this other article I heard about. Was this girl in Texas. Did you hear about this Texas girl on the plane?
Yes.
Yeah, she apologized.
Well,
Maybe.
she did, but
Wait, the one that was yelling at everyone?
that he's not real?
Yes.
Did they ever find out? Because I know about the video. I've seen the video, but I never saw who she was exactly talking about, except for some funny videos people made, and or any more about why she was saying it.
So apparently, her family was arguing with another family about the people she was arguing with stealing her AirPods or on the plane or something. And then that's what made her say, he's not real. They're not real.
It doesn't even make sense.
Here's the deal. I'm flying this weekend and I don't want any reminders of, interesting experiences on a flight. I'm a nice person. I like to get home safely within a reasonable amount of time. And I just don't want anybody, screaming and touching folks and saying, how dare you tell me? Like, on our way here, we had this woman, you could tell she was pissed off as soon as we got on the flight. She saw 3 babies and a husband and a wife, and she was like, oh, like Jesus. And I just started praying. Like, I deep down in my spirit, I was like, I hope this woman doesn't get up. And they were like, all white people. But this white little boy was like kicking and pushing. And I just, in my spirit, I thought about this woman. I thought that is what's going to happen to me. Because every time she got kicked, she was like, and I'm just.
The best part is Margaret pulls out her sandwich, got Potbellies.
Oh, yeah.
Got Potbellies, like turkey and like mayonnaise, Italian dressing, like yummy little sandwich. And she pulls it out and Mimi goes, that sandwich smells bad.
Who said that?
The woman next to her.
You should have gotten a crab sandwich or something.
Well,
and
no,
see how she
lobster
reacted.
roll.
She flew from Salisbury into
Denver. Yeah. So yeah, it goes like.
Is there a direct flight from Salisbury to Denver?
Absolutely not. But it's Salisbury to Charlotte or Salisbury to Philly and then someplace else. But yeah, she was like completely annoyed. But like, who is yelling and screaming? It's like, I used to believe that when you got on a plane, there was a different class of people that traveled, and that has
Not
changed.
anymore.
Everyone can travel. The only thing that I don't think we've seen at an airport thus far in the way that we envision them is homeless people. It's fair game to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are facts.
You could be living paycheck to paycheck and you could be on a flight acting a complete fool. And maybe perhaps I grew up in a different time where I thought, oh, the people who travel, they're like all special and they have coof. Is that what our parents used to say?
Yeah, they're like dressed up, right? Now people are wearing their pajamas, and I mean, I'm people, but
they're Walmart clothes.
You could probably start a whole series called like People in the Airport, because I've seen some people.
Oh, do we have stories?
And I probably have been some people at times.
I'm pretty sure I saw somebody on their way to a Beyonce concert, but they weren't going, but they had nothing on but like, little pieces of cloth.
On their babies.
On their babies.
Their biddies.
I don't know. They're just on the flight getting comfortable. I'm like, what is going on? So interesting. Or maybe that's just an assumption, Everybody should be able to experience travel.
Yes, and people don't need to be yelling that man ain't real or telling you your sandwich smells bad. Like, you chose this life, lady. You knew what you were getting into.
Hey.
Exactly.
Sandwiches?
What? Yeah. I would have probably done nothing and just eaten it real close to her. So apparently Gomez in this story was given a verbal criminal trespassing notice and tried to get back through TSA multiple times after being escorted out. And then I guess was like waiting for her Uber home. And she also apparently is well off and whatever, but very much enjoyed that she thought it was a good idea to say, this man's not real.
Lots of money doesn't equal sanity.
No.
I was going to say, maybe she had a schizophrenic episode or something. Not taking her meds that day.
Maybe he wasn't real. And
that's
he's like, you want to fuck with me? I'm going to show you my real face.
No, Amanda.
I'm a lizard person.
No.
Oh my God. Speaking of lizard people. So the other day, I get a phone call from Christopher's wife. And she's like, can you tell my kid about the royal family? Because if she asks her father, he's going to inform him they're all lizards. And then she's going to go to school and get beat up.
She wouldn't get beat up about it.
Apparently, she argued with the teacher about something.
So what she argued about was totally factual, 100% truth. And it pisses me off still to this day. So apparently
they silence your child.
Right. And not call me to confirm the facts, right? So apparently there was some discussion about the world's largest number, right? So what would you say the world's largest number is?
I don't know,
Infinity.
but the whole podcast will make me listen to about it. Because one time it made me listen to one about the 52 and
I was about to say, like, isn't that...
What did Adam say?
infinity.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Or Google.
No. Googleplex is the largest number, the biggest number.
So Googleplex is the biggest number.
Wait. How did Google get in the numbers game?
Googleplex or something.
So it's spelled Googolplex. So infinity keeps going; it never stops. Whereas Googleplex is like the end, basically.
Wait, Googleplex is where Google is located.
Well, they got in the numbers game.
Wait, pause. Google got to determine what's the end and final number.
Oh no, it's not Google. It's Google, not Google.
Like Googol,
not EL.
Interesting though.
Because infinity is not really a number. So she argued with the teacher, and apparently it was a whole thing. But she was right. She came up and told me the question. I said, well, sometimes you just got to take an L, sweetie. You're right. But,
No, it made me laugh because she called and she's like, Aunt Mimi, I need to know about the royal family. And I was like, okay, what do you want to know? And then, of course, Aunt Mimi went to like PhD level of royal family, and she was like, I just want to know why the king's so old. And I was like,
Of course she did. Of course she did.
What I want to know.
She's like, I don't care about that. And then I was like, oh, did you know that like one of the princesses is your age? And she's like, nah, why is the king old? And why is the queen not a real queen? And I don't know, why was the old queen's husband not a king? And I was like, oh, well, patriarchy. And then I had to explain what that was.
Like, what is that? Then I just asked somebody because we went to London a couple of times this year, and the first thing I asked people that live there is like, don't y'all just wonder like why would this family get to be in like that role? Like, don't you ever think that somebody else should be in that? No,
you're sitting here creating
It's because of the lizard. It's because of the lizard people.
You American.
Yes.
I don't know if I would ever say I was an American over there, but then I just felt like an American because I was like, how dare y'all keep this one family in leadership?
Oh, they don't have any power. They just got money.
They don't have any power. Their parliament pretty much does everything.
Yeah, no power. I mean, technically the king could like overthrow parliament, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because they're too worried they're gonna like try to get rid of them. Which all it means is they're gonna get rid of their castles and their money, which they probably
the castles are old. And
yeah, did you go to Buckingham?
I did.
Did you see the lizards?
I did not see the lizards. I didn't think that was a thing.
She hasn't listened to our lizard episode. That was my birthday present.
That's why Princess Diana was taken out.
The lizards.
Because she saw one of them turn at a function or something.
They're not lizards like little like wizards. They're like alien bases that look like lizards that have been around for millions of years. They're
basically aliens.
What episode was that?
Season 1. Oh, you're not. I thought we were playing. What's that game?
Scattergory.
I mean, you can play. You can play guess the episode. It's definitely season. It's definitely season 1. I'm looking up right now. Hold on. Place your bets. Place your bets.
What was it?
Place your bets.
Oh, I think it was.
What number from episode 1 or season 1?
16.
Oh, well.
You're cheating.
I'm looking up lizard people.
Was that the name of the episode?
It was
exactly. You're cheating. You had to guess, Chris.
Lizard?
I'm looking up lizard people.
Yeah.
Look.
Hey, I edit and post the podcast. I hope I should know.
Yeah, I think it's called Queen Lizzie and Her Lizard People.
So I'm wondering.
It is.
Talk about the Montgomery, Alabama dealio lately. Why you look like
no? I don't. I need detail. What happened in Montgomery, Alabama?
What? Wait,
it was 16. Chris is right.
No, I already confirmed that.
Oh, sorry.
Because he literally pulled up the Spotify. It was like it's 16.
Nope, not true. I pulled up Apple Podcasts.
Whatever.
What happened in Montgomery, Alabama?
Wait, does anybody on here know what happened in Montgomery, Alabama?
No.
Nope.
But Adam does. So
did he say what happened?
Adam doesn't count.
Come in here, Adam.
Okay.
He's not on this recording. He doesn't count.
Okay.
Listener, and you can hear my voice.
So there was a lovely issue. What?
Is it this one?
Yes. Amanda's face is like, what? Okay, so there was a lovely issue on like this dock where there was a giant boat that was supposed to be docking, but there was a smaller boat that wouldn't get out of the way. And so then a security person asked them to leave and they wouldn't. Now, then what ensued was that the security person just said, you know what, forget it, and started fighting because they don't have a lot of clear audio on it. But all you see is like this white guy trying to hit this black guy. And then the black guy just takes off his hat and throws it in the air. And it's like, forget this guy. And so then he starts fighting and it doesn't look like he's winning for a second. And then like a group of black men come and then they started fighting. And then a group of white men come and then and it's just big brawl of people fighting. Big meaning like probably like 20 people or something.
Somebody was in a wheelchair.
Ooh. And at some point, there was a black man walking around with a folding chair, hitting people on the head.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
How did I not know about this?
What did you? I just figured.
Because Snoop Dogg didn't tell me.
It just happened yesterday.
It didn't. Wait,
August 12th.
no,
Yeah.
that was published on August 12th. Go down. Let's see.
All right.
It was like USA Today, but August 5th.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is.
Something like the last week, and it was just a hot mess.
This is my favorite quote. The riverfront, or the brawl on the city's riverfront, during which the co-captain of the cruise ship said he held on for dear life as he was pummeled by boaters. What is happening? It's
So just imagine you were on a cruise, right? And you were trying to dock, and there's like 1,000 people on your boat. And you're like, I wish these people would move out of the way, like this little bitty boat. And they were like, we're not moving. And security people try to talk to them, and they're just like, no, I'm not leaving. And so the most of the story is like recorded from different angles on TikTok and social media. It's the first time I was like, I need to see if I just like search a word, like how many different views of the video will come up. And let me tell you, these people are like, they are beautiful photographers in this world. People are like sound effects. Like they're like, yes, him over there. Like it's a view over here of people running. Then it's a view over there of like seeing I was like, I didn't know what.
I love it.
But yes, all of this was happening. And the name of the cruise ship was called the Harriet 2.
Oh.
And so people were like, this is a national holiday. And I was like, no, this is not. They're like, this is a national holiday. Black people came together. And I was like, no, I don't think Black people should be coming together and beating up people.
So this article goes on to say that after that, two people encountered, this is the captain trying to get people to like move the boat, and they gave him the finger and told him to leave themselves. And he said, he told them that it was a city designated space for the riverboat, and he was just doing his job. Then Pickett said he was punched in the face and hit from behind and went to the ground. And I think I bit one of them. Oh, and then he said, all I could hear was...
That's probably my favorite quote in this whole article.
I think I bit one of them.
I bit one of them. It jumped up and bit me.
And then
grabbed one of them and held on for dear life. Oh my God.
He said, all I could hear is, I'm going to kill you and beat you. And he said, and Pickett said he couldn't tell how long it lasted. He grabbed one of them and just held on for dear life. And I was like, oh, this is like real serious.
Oh, and there was 2 rounds. So
yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I just wish, like, the thing that stands out to me is if this was just like a bunch of men fighting on the side of the road. Like, I just wish that people would be like more courteous to folks.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we are just so, this goes back to that Wally thing. It feels like the pandemic has like kept us in the house and freaked us out so much that we can't like be cordial to people. We're like, I don't know.
Everyone lost their manners. Yeah. No one has any manners these days.
If you see a giant cruise ship and they're trying to dock, wouldn't you move out the way?
Oh, I mean, I probably would have been in the way, but yeah.
My favorite thing is it's a pontoon boat.
Mm-hmm.
They were just partying, drinking, having a good time.
Exactly. They just, having Redneck Yacht Club at the dock.
Yeah.
It's that hard
Mini
to
cruise ship.
Shoot your pontoon boat up.
No. And they were like,
the pontoon boat is a redneck cruise ship.
It is.
Look.
And you know that there was probably a billion signs that said, do not park here. Parking for cruise ship only. This parking is only for the river cruise ship. If you park,
it was all spelled right, though.
It does. It says no parking between signs reserved for the cruise ships.
Like, I'm not.
Now,
they identified as a cruise ship that day.
People believe things that they're not, and I get it, but you can't here's my thing. The whole thing happened, and social media loves the part where the security officer takes off his hat and just throws it to the wind. Like, he's like, forget this job. Ain't nobody gonna beat me up. And I just like, I'm so tickled by like how we are so tired of other people at this point.
I think I was saying that
Yeah.
too. I just feel like everyone's just tired.
Like, how dare you yell at me for doing my job?
Right.
And he said, you know what? Forget this job. I'm done.
I don't need this. So in the article, it goes on to say that this is a threat to the durability of democracy, which it just sounds like people can't read. So maybe it's a threat to literacy.
It's definitely a threat to literacy.
And we are grateful for our law. Sorry.
So, a quick question. So, because I haven't seen the video, was it clearly like white people against black people in the fighting, or was it just like a free for all?
Well, from what I saw, like just saw and like read, it sounded like there definitely was some racial slurs thrown. But
Okay. All right.
People hurt were all racist because it says that the captain is a black man, but his deckhand is a white man or a white teenager. So it sounds like
he was also punched.
Move. It just like originally, that's a great question because I wonder if it was more like, you know, like in the South at this point, I feel like there's not necessarily a racism issue, but I could be, you know, kicked for that. But I think there's a very much class issue.
Yeah.
Eating around like what racism is, but class right now and money is way better. And I think we struggle with what racism is. Like we think of it as like, I hate black people, I hate this person. But really, like there's some underlying structural issues in the world. And I know that it always goes back to money.
No, I think you're right there with the classism too. And I think part of the racism, I don't want to say impacts, I mean, it does impact classism, but like they coexist. What's the term we use in our... Oh, you can tell we haven't been in class in a while, right?
Yes. But even think about that. Like you can, if all of these people on this boat, they obviously had enough money to be there.
Right.
And there's a person that owns a boat that's in the way of a bigger boat. Like there's some money obviously going on because I don't own a boat.
Right. And that person that they're fighting is the worker of the boat, not the boat owner.
So
they're fighting Gilligan, not Mr. What's the other guy? The millionaire and his wife. Mr. Howe.
Yes.
That is amazing. Did you remember that?
Ginger came to mind. Sorry.
You know, I wasn't there. And, you know, social media only gives us about, give or take, 25% of what really happens. You will never know what actually happened. That's just like when we work with students and they say, my teacher did X, Y, and Z. And then we talk to the teacher and they tell us the whole 75% that the student didn't tell us. So I have no idea what happened. It's the truth. I have no idea what happened there. But what I do feel like is people are frustrated and they don't know how to interact with each other and they don't know how to communicate and they don't know how to be patient with each other.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I get it. We were sitting in the house for like 18 months, but like, what were you doing for 18 months? Were you just like avoiding people, like just watching TV?
Thinking how they're going to wreck the next person's day when they get out.
I don't know. But yes, that was in my like timeline for the whole week, the hat throw. And I was like, oh, let's think of their jobs right now. Just, like quit their jobs and move on.
That's a decent job. He gave up for that.
So I was telling Margaret on our way to church, we passed these homes that are called backcountry. And it's like the $1 million homes. Oh, bye. And I was telling her how I can't live in those homes. So I'm from East Baltimore area. And there's a fine line that we tread between being well off and still being from East Baltimore. And she's like, you're telling me that in your Porsche. And I was like, yeah, but Margaret, I'm fat. Fine line. Fine line. You can't be slim
and have a luxury
car. You're slim and have a meth addiction. Sorry, Ange, you don't have meth addiction.
I would hope not.
Angela has an addiction to plants.
You can't see. You can kind of see them. I'm going through some things with my plants right now. It's very sad.
Like you're gonna divorce your plants?
There's a bug infestation that's killing some of mine, so I had to quarantine them. Yeah. So I'm trying to save them. They're in the recovery ward.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
So, do you want to hear about the we've been talking about this here and there for a while, and we can do it because it's not a huge topic, but the Proctor Farm, Aurora, Texas UFO incident. Since we're kind of talking UFOs during this episode. So this took place. It's probably one of my favorites because, well, I'll get into why it's one of my favorites, but it's probably one of my favorite reports of UFO alien phenomenon. Okay. So it goes back to April 17th, April 17th, 1897. So according to locals, a UFO crashed on a farm near Aurora, Texas. So it's kind of similar to the Roswell incident that occurred like 50 years after this took place. So they claimed it resulted, a crash. I screwed that up. Man, I'm trying to do this free willy here and I'm screwing up. All right. So the UFO crash occurred 50 years before the Roswell crash. And there was apparently a fatality as a result of this crash. There was a report that the a reverend that was on site made a statement, and it made it to the newspapers that the pilot was not of this world. That was the quote, "not of this world." They didn't actually say it was an alien. It was 1897, so I'm not sure if they even had that
They may have been around,
nomenclature.
like Wolverine was a pup.
Yeah. So the UFO apparently hit a windmill on the Judge J.S. Proctor's farm. Happened around 6 a.m. So apparently the wreckage was removed and dumped in a nearby well. So it had to be very small, because that was another thing that was kind of weird, is they said that they dumped the remains of the craft in a well on a farm. And it just seems strange to me, because this would be like metal of some kind, and why they would throw it down a well and potentially destroy the well, clog it up basically, unless it was like an old well. I just found that was kind of strange, right?
Well, weren't wells really big, like size-wise, bigger than what we're used to? Because that was like their main source of water. But yeah, like why would you throw that down there and potentially clog it? Unless it had that much space for it.
True.
Maybe it wasn't like what we think of a well. Maybe it was just like a hole. Or maybe
that could be.
cut it in pieces.
Yeah, it could be. It could be cut up.
That's what I was thinking. Like they sawed it up somehow.
And that's why we all have issues, because we drank from the water of the well.
Right. Someone had to clip an earlier part because I screwed up, and we'll just act like I didn't say that, and we'll say this. So there was an Army Signal Service officer named T.J. Weems, and he was from nearby Fort Worth Army base, and he's the one that witnessed the crash afterwards, and he made a statement, and it was actually put in the newspaper, that the pilot was not of this world and possibly a Martian. So that was the word used instead of alien at the time, as Martian. I actually kind of like that better. It's much more fun to say. And the pilot that was reportedly died.
Are they Plutonian?
I don't know. And I guess a Martian would be from Mars at that point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not just
if they're from
wherever.
Or the Uranisian?
Yeah.
So sure.
So the deceased pilot was buried in a nearby cemetery. It was the Aurora Cemetery, and he was buried with Christian rites. And to this day, he's supposedly buried in that cemetery. And I think it was 2008. No, I'm sorry, 2005. There was a show that came on. I think it was on History Channel, I believe. It's called UFO Files. It's pretty good. Pretty good show. And they would go and like literally investigate reports of alien sightings or, past alien events. And on this episode, the episode was titled Texas Roswell. They went to Aurora, Texas and attempted to excavate or exhume the body of the deceased pilot. Of course, the Texas government said absolutely not and didn't let them do that. And I'd venture to say it's been so popular that somebody's probably gotten in there and dug it up and taken whatever was in there out at this point anyway. I'm sure they're not just going to let that sit, the dead alien in the ground where anybody can go and dig it up. So
the land's probably been excavated for like multiple different things, like electricity.
Well, it's still, the headstone's still there. I mean, the headstone has like a picture of the craft.
I was going to say, can you like dig up, like do to what Mana was saying? Can you do that in a cemetery?
Yeah, but you have to get a permit
kind of like
from the
hollow
government.
Yeah,
that's like the whole theory of poltergeist. Like we were talking about it before. They buried her.
Yeah,
in Pet Cemetery.
But I guess if you get a permit from the government, it makes that all okay, and they don't haunt you.
Right, because the government supersedes ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Totally.
Yeah. Like everyone knows that. It goes God, lizard people, the government, ghost.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
So yeah, that's pretty much there are little tidbits on that as well. I mean, it's kind of a short, interesting story, and it happened a long time before the first reported crash. I mean, Roswell is the one everybody knows about and talks about, but this one happened, 50 years before Roswell. And it's almost 50 years exactly. Because Roswell, that crash happened in July, I believe, and this happened in April, and it was 1897 and 1947. It's like exactly 50 years. That's interesting. What if it takes 50 years for them to travel here if they're coming from another planet?
Well, when was the next one after Roswell? Was it Betty and
That's
Barney?
the thing. Well, the crash wise, I don't know, but no, there was one in Brazil after that. It wasn't 50 years. It was only a few years.
Well, maybe they finally were like,
oh,
we found a place, and then they started sending people more regularly.
Well, see, I heard another interesting thing, alien related. So apparently, the reason why the Roswell crash happened, and these it's more than one. It was a couple apparently. Some say 2, some say 3 crashes happened that during that time. So apparently, the government has been was testing these like radio wave weapons that like cause localized EMP or some kind of electronic failure on a airplane. And when they saw, and they were also, that's when radar was releases around that time as well. And apparently the weapon was connected to radar, and any craft that was not identified and they weren't able to hail, they used this weapon on, and it would down the craft. And that's how, because a lot of people would say, well, if they're so advanced, how are they coming here and crashing? Well, it's apparently the government has that weapon and caused the alien ships to crash. Because it's not far from where the nuclear bomb hangar, like where the people that dropped the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that it was the Roswell Army Airfield is where they housed the planes that did that bombing. So it wouldn't make sense that they'd have a really fancy weapon to protect that base,
Yeah, I think that's actually super interesting. Have you seen the Oppenheimer?
No, I want to. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know how bad they're gonna. You said it was good?
I haven't seen it. I heard it was good though.
Are you going to do the double feature? No, I haven't seen it yet. You're going to do Barbenheimer?
I already saw Barbie. I saw that literally the day it opened.
Of course you did.
Look at my phone. It's hot pink.
Did you know Starbucks has a Barbie drink?
It's the pink
yeah.
drink.
It's not the well, it is.
It's not the pink
but
drink?
It's not.
It's
So instead of coconut milk, they put sweet cream in it.
that sounds awesome.
It's
Actually.
really good. I just was drinking it. It was really good.
So I recently listened to a podcast about Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project, and it just makes me so mad about everything we did and like what we did to Japan and like all of that. That like I don't know if I want to watch the movie because I'm afraid it's going to be like so pro America and like really not show like we didn't actually have to bomb these people. From what?
Yeah. You know what confuses me about the whole bombing? If the nuclear fallout causes areas to be unlivable for however many years, how are they able to move back into those areas so quickly? And we're still not able to go back into
Well, they
that
should.
place in Chernobyl.
So for what they were saying on this podcast is they didn't have anywhere else to go. And a ton of the people who like survived, quote unquote, were like children who ended up either joining the Yakuza, which is the Japanese mafia, or starving to death. Or being sold into slavery or whatever. And then if you came from that area or a family who lived there during that time, you were really like basically thought of like this is a whole different culture that I'm bringing in, but like an undesirable. So like you weren't able to like if you they were talking about a story about this one guy who met this woman and was gonna get married, and then her family found out that he was a child when or his parents were children during Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they would not let him marry because of the like nuclear all that issues. So apparently,
I can see that.
Like, super issues still happening.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think the difference between that and Chernobyl is that, or like the Japanese nuclear plant, and I can't think of where it's at. I think the difference there is that it's such a raw material of that's like still burning, opposed to like a bomb that set off in the atmosphere, all of that, but isn't like raw. I don't know that part. I'm still unsure. But apparently we can move back to Chernobyl. They just don't. Like it's like luscious animals live there and everything.
Nature healed.
Yeah.
Right. Holy cow.
I don't know. It's interesting. Now, if you're a scroll, you can just live in Chernobyl all you want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they had their base, wasn't it?
Yeah. One of those places.
I don't think they said Chernobyl, but they alluded to it.
Yeah. I don't know if you have to like get copyright to say that. We'll find out.
Maybe. Russia might not be too happy.
They're kind of occupying.
Yeah. Sounds like there's some stuff going on in Africa getting ready to stir up some shit elsewhere. In Nigeria, I believe.
Nigeria is starting to stir up stuff?
I don't know the whole story, so I feel bad speaking of it, but there is something going on in Africa that is causing some unrest in the world other than the Ukraine and Russia stuff.
It's not Nigeria, it's Niger.
Oh, it's my fault.
That's close. Yeah. In West Africa. Interesting.
There's like scuttlebutt, like they're calling it World War Africa or something because there's so many involved parties or something.
Oh yeah, because it's a hapless former French colony.
I think they said if the president like removes himself from the country, that everybody will back off or something.
Oh, I see what's happening too. And I guess because Niger used to be it has like French influences, and then it's a windfall with Russia and China. So I guess they're kind of using this as like a play. Interesting.
Oh, no doubt. But China, I don't think is too concerned with it. Or it was either one of them. Or either China was really concerned about it, and Russia wasn't, or was vice versa? I remember something like that.
So it says Niger's junta means will kick out French and American troops stationed there, and then throw itself into the arms of Russian President Vladimir Putin. And
I like Uten better.
I think because I was trying to read, I was like reading ahead, and I was like, "How the hell do I say this name?" Yevgensky Progozhin.
Nailed it.
Some group, which is a Russian mercenary army.
Yeah, since there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now.
Yeah, it sounds like Putin is totally like playing some games here.
And it could cause, I mean, I just feel like part of me feels like maybe this is just like watch the pretty lady here as the magician does the real stuff, you know? I feel like there's a lot of that going on.
There's always something like that when they don't want you to see what's really happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Here, let's tell you about aliens so you can focus on that instead of everything else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could go that way. I mean, the whole alien thing could be a bunch of bullshit, and they're just using it to keep us occupied, or at least a portion of everybody occupied, worrying about if there are aliens out there when, you know, these governments are coming in and just taking shit over.
Chris, I understand why you were confused because it sounds like Niger and Nigeria actually share a border.
Yeah, I did know that.
And I think it sounds like Niger may have been a part of Nigeria at one point. Don't quote me on that, people. But it says with Russians in the second row on the side and Americans on the other, we'd be in another proxy war and another step closer to World War III. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many proxy wars it's going to take, because this is my fear with the proxy wars. We'll use Russia and Ukraine as an example. I mean, we can only give so much aid to Ukraine without it being an outright offense to or on Russia. And same thing with NATO, because I think there's talks of Ukraine joining NATO, and if that happens, that will be World War III.
Oh yeah, I mean, like all they need to do literally is if Russia has any slight attack on Poland, we're in it.
That too, yeah.
You know, sorry, Adam just texted.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, is that it's just insanity how close the doomsday clock is.
Oh yeah, they're moving it like
it's like, well, since 2016, I think it's been at the like a minute before the hour.
What happens
at
the hour?
It's supposed to be the end of the world, or end of, you know.
Do you think when the world ends, we'll all just hear the sound of "It's the end of the world as we know it"?
God, I hope not.
I feel fine.
So it's 90 seconds to midnight.
90 seconds.
So we're a minute and a half to midnight.
Yeah. It's been like 2-3 minutes for a long time, and then now it's. Oh. So it's this thing on here. I just read it, and there's probably more context to it, but I'm just going to read the one sentence. So it says Russia has also brought its war to Chernobyl and Zaporizhzhia nuclear reactor sites, violating international protocols and risking widespread release of radioactive materials. There's something they've done recently, because it's talking about Russian-Ukraine war. That's interesting. Don't worry.
Just sort of like, I don't know. This is going to sound so American. So I'm sorry for international listeners. But I really feel like this is like, why do they want to keep messing with us? Like, can't we just like leave it alone? Like, don't we're having a hard time at home. It's like if this was high school, right? It'd be like, stop messing with America. They already are like having a hard time. Their parents are getting divorced. They can't decide what they want to do. Like,
Just give us a break, man.
brother has identity issues, and now is their older sister. Like, they still are fighting about what color they want to be. Like, can you just give them a break and like let them just have a sec, Russia?
Right? So apparently Russia's threatened to use nuclear weapons on you in Ukraine.
Yeah, and if they do,
That's it.
done.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
The NATO is contemplating letting Ukraine enter NATO, which
And that'll be it.
that's
If
it.
that happens, that's
All
it.
that has to happen.
Yep.
And then what is it? No, I don't think it's Denmark that's across from Russia. Is it Denmark that's across? Where's the
I
ocean?
think so.
It's one of those beautiful countries. Yeah. That's right.
So
Lithuania.
Belarus, Romania, that's pretty much it.
So those places up there, like
Poland.
they are trying to get into the United Nations also because they're afraid that that's going to also happen to them. So like Russia's going to like come on over.
Well, Belarus, Latvia, and Estonia have it the worst because they're in Finland too. But I think Finland's in NATO.
It's Finland. I think it's either Finland or Norway. One of them is trying really hard to like get into NATO, so they're not.
I tell you what, Finland's military
has only been part of NATO since April of this year.
Wait, that's who it was. They were
wow.
trying to join
Because they're right up there next to. Well, they border Russia, but their military though. There's some tough dudes, man. Let me tell you, Finland. They have a really good special forces military.
Amanda, do you think they're going to ride their pole horses into battle?
Yeah, of course. So they're practicing for it, right? They're hobby horses.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Holy cow!
Just like
So I go ahead.
I'm just imagining them with like their little war hats on, and they're like like running.
It'd be Monty Python. Someone have coconuts behind them.
Yeah. Or like tap shoes that make the noise.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So I created a few songs that I thought about using during the podcast for stuff like transitions and stuff like that. But I haven't really polished. I polished one of them up pretty good, but they still need some polishing, but the other two kind of don't. So I don't know if I just thought about it. I don't know if I can get them to play in here where you guys can hear it.
Yeah, you can. I just have to share. Angela, want to play a game while we're waiting?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to try to guess what countries are in NATO.
Oh God, I'm going to fail at this miserably.
I don't know. Give it a try. There are
Obviously U.S.
31 current members.
Jesus Christ. U.S., Finland,
Yeah.
Sweden.
No.
No. Britain?
Yep.
France?
Yep.
Canada?
Yep.
Portugal?
Ooh, that is a yes.
Ooh.
Down there. If Portugal is, do you think their neighbor?
Is that España?
España is. España is doing really well in the World Cup, by the way.
I haven't been watching because I don't care about soccer.
The Matildas, which is Australia's country. That's their ladies' team. They're called the Matildas.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's a cute name. Better than like
Uh,
big women's game.
Norway?
Ooh, yeah, one of the founding members. Good job.
Ooh.
Good.
Ireland?
No.
Or would that be part of Britain? Or no, wouldn't it be part of Britain?
South Ireland, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, no. Which is weird.
Was Germany new or no?
He is part of it. Yep. Not an OG. A little bit later, once it got shit figured out.
Yeah, right. Oh, H2O is sharing computer sound now.
NATO's website's actually really cool, and like it's not.
How many did it? What, I got like 10?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. There's some I don't think you would get, or like Slovakia and Slovenia.
No, I would have never guessed that.
Turkey, but it's spelled like they spell it, which is interesting. Like Lithuania, Luxembourg. I always forget the country.
Oh yeah.
Northern Macedonia, which I didn't know there was.
Hungary.
Hungary, yeah, Hungary's in there. Greece, Italy, Latvia.
How did I not say my homeland?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Your homeland is not Latvia, by the way, right?
No, not that one.
I was like, I think you mean Italy, but we're just going to make sure you don't mean Latvia.
No.
Albania, another one that I think is kind of weird.
This should be a game that you should play with my brother, not me, because he could probably name all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
Mostly because he likes that world geography shit.
More than 31, so that's interesting. I also really like that you can sort by date. Or
when they joined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the most recent was Finland.
See.
And obviously, the originals were Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands.
Oh, Iceland was part of it? Huh.
Portugal, United Kingdom, and the United States.
What about Greenland?
No.
Really?
Thing. Isn't Greenland actually really cold and very icy?
Yeah, it's opposite Iceland.
Right. Do you know how we learned that?
Is it where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
No, because the Mighty Ducks.
Was it?
Yeah, and Mighty Ducks coach Pompey goes on a date with the lady from Iceland.
Iceland. Yes. Oh, it's the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. It's D2.
Right. And she says,
all right.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. I think I got it. Let's see.
Well, you were sharing.
Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one this one is. And
that sounds like more of an outro music to me.
I don't know what it can be. I didn't have any idea. I just made it.
Okay, so you said there was this only one, or was there another?
There's 2 more after this.
Okay.
I don't really like that. I think I'll take it down.
I feel like I'm at a rave now.
Let's see. I mean, I'm gonna jump it down so we're not. That's pretty much it for that one.
It's still very ravey.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same one. Hold on. All right, let's try this one. This one I think is the one that needs more playing around with. Totally different. I mean,
Now I feel like it's the softcore porn music.
yeah, it's got a softcore vibe to it. But
It's the sax.
Yeah. For this one, I was thinking more of.
That's more transitional.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A Wacky World game.
Oh, it could be. Yes.
Yeah.
Keep the scratching and do that as the Wacky World news.
Okay. That's pretty much that one. And that one
World
can-
news.
Wicca what?
Wait, you listen
This
to
one, I don't
Huh?
know what it is.
Listen to Taylor?
Yes. I haven't recently because Alicia's daughter has been obsessed with her and plays the same 5 songs on repeat, and I want to murder her.
Take that star power. I want to take that too, I think. No, it's not that.
This also sounds like softcore porn music.
Yeah. See where my mind, I guess that's where my mind was when I did this. Oh, is this the one? I put random box in there. I don't know what was the deal with that. I was drunk when I made these, so. Put random box. I don't know why. The end I like more. I have to say, I was listening to it earlier.
Well, can you just cut the end then?
Here, like this.
That could be a good transition.
Yeah.
Like that. Why would I put that there? That too. That's like a. I have no idea. Those two.
I mean, I kind of like it.
Okay.
But just the end, not the beginning part.
Yeah, the beginning was like, I don't know. That's what I said. I had to clean it up. But okay, well, that's good. At least you guys. It was Outer Banks. We were in Outer Banks, and I was playing around. So that's what happened. But yeah.
I dig it.
I have no idea how to get back on my iPad because I'm off my iPad because my iPad's on my MacBook now. Oh, there we go.
Did you ever get your screen fixed?
Yeah. My what?
Your screen on your MacBook.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's way better now. They replaced the whole thing, the whole screen part. They sent it
Amanda,
out.
what did you say?
I said Angela could help you with all the Mac questions.
Do not support the Apple. You know this.
Hey,
The Apple conglomerate.
What would Forrest Gump's internet password be?
Run, Forrest, run. Or one.
Forrest 1.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. And I think I sent it to Erica and I said, I'm going to change my Wi-Fi password to that.
That's
It
hilarious.
was either Erica or Alicia.
So yeah, everybody that listens will have to let us know what they think about the songs, softcore or not, or whatever.
Wait, we're
Have
still
any
recording.
opinions?
Shit.
Yeah, but you can cut that out.
Oh well, I can cut it out, or you leave it in.
Maybe people will enjoy my joke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or I can cut that piece out too. Yeah, let us know what you think about the songs if you have a preference, or we'll probably still use them for at least a little bit of things, transitions and stuff to make it sound a little bit more professional. But if you have a preference, you like one over the other one, or can't stand the others, let us know.
Yeah.
Amanda, you
1,
should put a
2, and
vote on
3.
our Insta.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be 1, 2, and 3. The first one played will be 1, second one played will be 2, and then the third one will be 3.
Okay.
And I think I played them out of order of what I have them labeled as, but that's all right. I'll figure it out.
Maybe you should reorder them.
Yes.
Like change them name-wise on your computer right
Yes.
now so you don't forget.
That's
What
a
would
good
you-
point. But I don't remember which ones I played. I'll have to do it when I edit because I have no idea which one I played. Well, there's 2 softcore porn.
Tough corn porn. I'd watch
Yeah, that gets a little weird.
it. All messy.
Yeah. And then the other one was just whatever. The first one I played, I think, was my favorite out of the bunch that I liked out of the bunch. Because the other one, after I listened to it, I was like, yeah, this definitely has like a porn vibe going on.
The first one you played was the rave.
Yeah, the rave one, yeah.
And then the second one was the wicka wicka what?
Yeah.
And then the last
Like I
one
said,
was more softcore porn, but it was near the end, it wasn't as softcore porny.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I was drunk, and second disclosure, they definitely need tweaking. They're not like 100% quality as our outro and intro is. Actually, third full disclosure, the intro is more done professionally, for lack of better words, than the outro, because the outro I just threw together real quick because I realized, hey, we probably should have an outro at least instead of just going to nothing.
I like our outro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Robin can't stand our intro because she heard it so many times when I was creating it. She can't stand it. I think eventually I don't want to change it. I would like to tweak it a little bit. But the thing about it is I can't. I don't have the original. I'd have to like go over top of it because I don't have the original audio of it for some reason. So
what happened?
It's all good.
I don't know. It got lost or something.
Yeah,
we were looking for it the one day.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened to it. Like I have everything. Like I have a 2 or 4 terabyte hard drive with all our stuff on it. And I don't, including our ads and all that stuff. And I don't know what happened to that's like the only thing we're missing. So. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. I kind of like this episode, this kind of free willy, go at our own pace kind of thing. I think when we come back into it, we're going to be a little more organized. But I thought in my mind, apparently after talking to Amanda and Angela, that was only in my mind. I originally thought that we were going to have a less formal topic episode and kind of what's going on in the world / maybe a little bit of Proctor Farm. But apparently it was discussed that we were going to do it Proctor Farm exclusively. And I just personally, after getting into it more, it's not as much there as a whole episode worth. So I think this was fun though. I enjoyed it.
Catching up, sharing what is happening in our world.
Yeah. I enjoyed Margaret's intake and her. Yeah.
I did too. She was great. She should join us more often.
I'll let her know. Yeah. I mean, she's in Maryland, so she could just drive on up. If y'all want to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She did say.
Or we go down to the beach.
Yeah. Margaret did have to go meet some friends for dinner real quick. So she's like, I hope your cousin and friend were okay. And I said, no, they really liked having you on. You shared that crazy story with us, but also great intake. And we always like that. So always looking for guests and for people that want to share because we don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that, and we'd more than be happy to have other people on. So if you're interested in coming on, hit us on Instagram or send us an email. I think you guys know our stuff, and in case you don't, it's TWRD_podcast is our Insta handle, and our email address is thewatersrundeeppodcast@gmail.com. It's all one word, thewatersrundeeppodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah,
thank everybody. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
JMO, I was just going to say, JMO's been aching to get back on. He's got some, new music to promote and stuff. So I told him,
absolutely,
maybe in a couple weeks, get him on.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to have him.
Cool.
Love to have him.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Until the next one.